Buddy, this is the Nabi back again. And with the stuff going on in Mali, and why, if you're a passport bro or just an Afro person in the United States that care about what's going on in the world, you should really pay attention to this story. I decided to look into this because a couple of things doesn't make sense. Why was the Caucasian, European, American companies, the US media, so sad that this dude was ousted in a coup, while the people of Niger were ecstatic? And I was like, this doesn't marry up. Now, given that the free world put its people on lockdown and basically in a quasi prison for the better part of a year or two under democracy and the Democrat policy, the leftist policies, we come to learn hindsight. Some of us hindsight 2020, and some of us that smell the fish way before that you can't trust the media, you can't trust our government, you can't trust anything. And so why would people that you can't trust, a media that you can't trust, be so disappointed that this dude was gone? Okay, and so Tinubu, he's gone. Military coup, it just doesn't make sense. All right, so I went and started looking around to see what the Nigerians and the Nigerians, well, we know what the Nigerians feel about it. They're ecstatic. But I wanted to know what the Nigerians felt about it. Because remember when I was doing the videos about ECOWAS on TikTok, which was being shadow banned, they kept it so that only 2 people would be able to see it, and they hid it from the people that were following me. All right, and I said that was suspect too. So all this suspect stuff. So I want y'all to go look at NEDMEDIA. Okay, he's a Nigerian, not Niger, but he's from Nigeria. Tinubu, right? He is right now running ECOWAS, and he's the one that threatened military action. Oh, so that's why we need to pay attention to this, right? And so welcome to this channel. Like, share, subscribe, and when you subscribe, click the notification bell. If you want to donate to what this channel is really about, and it's about doing stuff for our children that might not have a chance, then my PayPal and Cash App will be in the description box. Now, with that said, let's get along with this. And I will put these links in the description box as well. All right. So there's a whole lot to this. And so according to NEDMEDIA, he came across the reason why Niger threatened military action. Nigeria threatened military action against Niger. One is power, right? The other is gas, corruption, and is Nigeria France's lapdog, especially while they're operating in ECOWAS? Well, let's look at what the evidence say, and let's look at what the Nigerian people, not Niger, but Nigerian people think about this. All right, first, here is the crazy thing. You see these headlines, right? Well, apparently, Ahmed Tinubu was being indicted in the U.S. according to media sources. Oh, and it gets deeper than this. And this is why I say that the biggest problem, the major thing, the linchpin in all of this is corruption. And he gets indicted for money laundering, and he is suspected of drug dealing. And this is Nigerian news. The people know about it. That's why the people are ecstatic. So again, it doesn't make sense. All right, but listen to this.
Following the coup in Niger and the threat of military intervention if
This
they
is
don't
NEDMEDIA.
quickly relinquish power, the threat is no longer a matter of if, but a matter of when. This is because Nigerian troops are now stationed near Niger to enforce a no-fly zone over Niger. Why is Tinubu bent on military intervention in Niger? Let's see 4 main reasons why he is doing it. Number 1, out of the 4 reasons, this one might be the major motivation to invade Niger. When the country is at war and Tinubu is still fighting for legitimacy, which might still take a few months to resolve, going to war will trigger Section 135, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution, which will make him stay in power for up to 4 years. It says, if the Federation is at war in which the territory of Nigeria is physically involved and the President considers that it is not practicable to hold elections, the National Assembly may by resolution extend the period of 4 years mentioned in subsection 2 of this section from time to time, but no such extension shall exceed a period of 6 months at any one time.
Whoop, there it is, y'all. There it is. So all the way up to 4 years, so long as he goes to war with another African country. Wow, that makes this seem sick, huh? Now I put the map up because there's another development that I want y'all to understand. That's next. Okay, so here's the main reason why this would be a problem for those traveling.
Burkina Faso and Mali have issued a joint statement saying they'll regard any military intervention in Niger as a declaration of war on them. The two countries, which have also both seen recent military coups, said they would come to the defence of their eastern neighbour in such a scenario. It's after a West African bloc gave Niger's military 7 days to give up power and threatened to use force if they didn't do so. Before that joint statement from Mali and Burkina Faso was released, Niger's ambassador to the US spoke to my colleague Sumi Somaskanda.
This coup has...
All right, now what I want y'all to understand is not many people, regular people in Africa, trust their governments, especially those that are put in positions seemingly by the West, especially those that speak on behalf of the West. All right. Again, I would like to mention that in Niger, they ship a lot of uranium to France that powers France's electricity grid up to 35%. All right. 80% of Nigerians live in poverty without electricity. All right. Now, I want you to understand something else. The first thing that Nigeria did was to cut off electricity to get a man who is seen by the people of Niger as a criminal. I'm going to show you why this moment. First, let me show you this map. You got Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. How much you want to bet that Benin might get involved and Chad might get involved against Nigeria? All right, this could be a powder keg. So, is this a good time to travel to Central Africa right about now? I think not. Take your chances in East Africa. This is why current events matter if you are a person that travels with your passport. All right. Y'all need to stop looking at booties only and understand the ins and out, the treachery that might be going on, or current world events. It's time out for Afro people in America to stop being ignorant. We are the most dumb generation in the history of the country that don't know anything about anything, but we know everything about the Kardashians or football. All right, so let's roll on. All right, so as we roll on, again, $460,000 for drugs, and they start digging up the paperwork and the court proceedings. All right, so this is the dude that was running Niger. This was the dude that was elected president. This is the dude that everybody in Niger that's a regular person was questioning, how could this dude be president? And while he was running, these drug charges, these alleged drug charges, were in the mix in the media. So the question is, how did he get elected? It's the same thing that happened in Brazil, where Lula was released from prison, all right, months before he won the election. What was he in prison for? Swindling the people of Brazil. And he was found guilty. And the Supreme Court judge shortened his sentence so that he can run against Bolsonaro. So what's going on in Western countries where we got seemingly criminals running everything from the U.S. all the way to Africa in this democracy? All right, something is wrong with democracy when the criminals, or seemingly or alleged criminals, can take it over and nothing can be done by the lay people. And like in the United States, a president can weaponize the Justice Department against his rival. Think about that. Now, I want you to pause and read this at this moment, but I want you to pay attention to what the people were thinking and why the people were so ecstatic that he was out of there. All right. And we're looking at September 16, 2008, right? U.S. federal agents successfully, the second paragraph, U.S. federal agents successfully linked Tinubu to drug trafficking ring in Chicago. The United States of America, by its attorney, Michael J. Shepard, United States Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois, for its verified complaint of forfeiture. All right, so this is who was running Niger. This is who the military of Niger overthrew. Now, we don't know about the conditions there, but I was like, something smells funny because the people are really, really happy he's gone. And the West are really, really sad. And we know and believe that our Western governments to be crooked. We believe our media cannot be trusted to be truthful. As a matter of fact, we believe now that most that come out of the mouths of our media are lies and propaganda. So with that said, we start smelling a rat when a lot of these things happen. And so now you can pause and read this, right? And just pay attention at the caption at the bottom left. The drug dealer who wants to be president. This is what people were saying in Niger. All right. And so you have to wonder what's up with the Nigerian president, that he's going to threaten the people of Niger with an all-out war if they don't put somebody back in power that the Nigerian people believe to be crooked. What's that say about Nigeria? All right. These are some of the memes. These are some of the memes that's going on with this guy. All right. And so people just are not having it. Now, he went back to Niger. President Tinubu went back to Niger and tried to argue, oh, it was for taxes. But they dug up the court cases. Now, here's the question to everybody in the West, especially the melanated people. When are we going to be tired of the Western powers putting up sellouts before us? All right. All melanated people need to pay attention to this. I like rock and roll, and I've been listening to rock and roll, and Caucasians never really trusted their government like that, at least the male population. This is why there's an aggressive thing to get the males out of decision making and giving it to the females. Why is this? Because at the end of the day, right, you can manipulate the females to do what makes them feel good. And since it's manipulation and no critical thinking involved, a lot of times they choose things that are toxic to them. You know, like them boyfriends that they let get them knocked up, and now they looking for good men, but we don't want them. This has been the case, and you can really see that the people of Niger are ecstatic that the French are gone because of the heinous way in the whole history of French government that they have treated Africans. The whole history of French being involved with African people. They treated them like garbage. They stole their resources. They stole their gold. And yes, they stole it. When you take their stuff and don't pay them, you steal it. All right. And France ain't trying to give it back. As a matter of fact, they think they are entitled to keep these people in permanent bondage to them, even to the point where France is forcing them to use the franc, and France don't even use that franc that they print for these African countries. France uses the euro. Think about that. And be wary of the news and media, because they are full of BS. If you're going to pick righteousness, that's what we should do. In this case, Nigerian people are righteous, seem to be righteous in what they're doing. So let's stand with them, because we know the history of the French, and they need to get out of Africa. Period. They need to give Haiti their due too, because they and the United States owe Haiti big time as well. With that said, I'm out.